Aye, it's a troubling time for sure. With the civil war, our Lord Baronner is desperately trying to keep the peace. He's sent more soldiers to protect us, but we can still use more help. We need to look out for each other in these trying times. I'm just an ordinary townsfolk, humble enough to make a living. I'm in the trade business, dealing in goods and services. It ain't easy, but it's my livelihood and keeps me going. If you're looking for someone to join your cause, you'd best be asking around at the notable's house. That's where most of the recruits are found. Though if you're looking for supplies, the local market is always open.
Okay, so I will be the first to admit that sometimes I over-exaggerate in my videos. I just am so excited to bring you guys these epic mods that people pour hundreds of hours in that I like to hype them up. However, this video right here that we're about to watch today blew my mind. This truly takes Bannerlord far past what I thought was in the realms of possibility. This is a new mod made by the legend himself, Bloccs, the modder renowned for making the Star Wars space battle his very own Age of Empires RTS inside of Bannerlord. He's also created a really legendary mod launcher which I just use on the daily because it's so much better than the ones that we have currently in Bannerlord. So he's basically utilized the in-world AI, GPT AI, and text-to-speech features to create a really immersive experience inside of Bannerlord. And this mod, of course, is out right now, so I'll leave a link to it down below in the description alongside Bloccs YouTube channel where he posts all of the awesome stuff that he's currently working on. So what is this mod? This is in-world AI Calradia, and basically what it allows you to do is to go up to any character in Bannerlord, whether it's a lord in a castle or a village or a city, or just the random peasant you find on the street, and have a perfectly pleasant and sensible conversation with them. So for this first example, Bloccs goes up to a lord of the Southern Empire who are currently in the midst of a civil war, and he just asks him a couple questions like, what is your position in the realm? How do you feel like the war is going? Do you think you could do a better job? And the AI goes ahead and generates them. I believe it then takes into account about the character's personality, so it looks at their in-game traits, their friends, their enemies, and it comes back with a response. I'll let a bit of that clip play out now so you can see it in action.
It is a tragedy. The Calradic Empire was once the dominant power in Calradia, weakened by internal strife and external threats. Civil war erupted between three potential successors after the death of Emperor Erenikos, Garios, Radia and Lucan. It is a difficult situation for all involved, and it will take great leadership to bring about a resolution. As a member of the Julios, a noble family of the Empire, my loyalty lies with Radia. My family has always been supportive of her cause, and we are committed to seeing her succeed.
Like, just how crazy is that? The fact that, you know, he just spilled off the lore of Calradia and then quickly talked a bit more about his family and how they were loyal to the Empress as they fight this civil war. Like, just how immersive and cool is that feature in the game? And that's not it. It also works for peasants as well. So again, in a second, we'll look at some clips and you can go up to peasants inside of villages and ask them their opinion on what's happening. And it will be dramatically different from, say, a highly lord inside of a castle. You can also utilize this to recruit soldiers as well. So for example, if I go to a village and I speak to the recruits lying around, they'll give me a bit of their backstory. They'll tell me maybe a bit more than I need to know before I send them off to be the fallen hope in a siege battle and immediately get squashed by a ballista bolt. It's just small things like this which are really cool. Again, I will show the villager clip right now so you guys can see a bit more. In this clip, the villager is going to talk about who owns a village, where I can maybe get some recruits.
Joggeries, 'tis the name of our village. Been here my whole life, and I'm proud to call it home. The Empire has been good to us, providing roads and trade aplenty. Citros from the Vetranis clan, he be the owner of this land. He's been a just ruler, always listening to the people, though we could use more soldiers to keep the peace.
So there you can see, like, the Empire peasant is extremely happy with his scenario. They're currently being, you know, very prosperous inside of a village, and I can only imagine if the village had then been raided, for example, we would get a completely different set of responses from the AI. The fact that this is all as well text-to-speech just adds that little bit more of immersion. Obviously, the voice acting is, you know, it's AI generated, so it's not going to be these incredible speeches that rally you into the abyss, but it's just enough, I feel like, to immerse you in the world. And, you know, if you're constantly running through this, I don't think for me, it'll be a problem. On top of that, and something that I probably should have mentioned earlier, is that you are asking all these questions. So it's not these pre-generated conversations. You are typing in these questions to whoever you're talking to, and then they're coming back with the responses. I imagine there will be some problems. I'm sure if you ask it stupid questions, it probably won't understand exactly. But if you ask it on base in the universe, I think it works perfectly fine. There are, however, some limitations to the actual model that Block is using with Imworld. He did previously use ChatGPT, which allowed him to actually interact with the game systems. So for example, I could go ahead and tell someone, hey, I want to recruit you, and then he would be like, oh yeah, I will join you, and then he would automatically join you. Unfortunately, I think with the in-world system, it doesn't quite work like that, but I'm sure there could be ways to find around that, because the text-to-speech is really cool and does add a lot of immersion into the game, saving you just reading tons and tons of text. And honestly, I really hope there is a way around that, because how amazing would it be if you go into a village and you talk to a random farmer, and then with his backstory, and it sets you off on a 20-part quest line to go ahead and find his lost treasure or something, each one spawning off and interacting with one another, and the AI remembering that you've already done some quests for a certain person, so when you talk to him, he goes ahead and, you know, talks to you differently than anyone else would. Like, just think of the possibilities with this type of thing, of the AI just kind of generating stuff in the proximity of a Bannerlord, because as I said, it already goes ahead and takes into account like your personality, your character's backstory, your character's friends and enemies in the game. Like, it actually takes that RPG element, that immersion role-playing element, and just shoves it into your face. On top of that, it also just encourages you to go to all these beautiful locations inside of Bannerlord. Too much in the current game are you just kind of sitting on the world map and clicking the portraits and talking to them that way, instead of actually going into these beautifully crafted cities, towns, and castles Tale Worlds have spent so much time on, which are just so underutilized. And this is such a cool mod to actually throw you in there. And honestly, I just think about the actual possibilities of a mod like this, having that AI generate stuff, immersing you with the conversations where you're actually talking back to them. It's just really, really impressive. And I think technically, whether the gameplay is working and it is fun to do constantly, that's a different story. I just think, honestly, like, it's just so impressive technically, even if maybe you don't find the gameplay entirely, even if you just want to fight battles and eat butter and you're all out of butter, I still feel like you can really appreciate the actual technical level of this, a mod like this, and what possibilities it does open up later on down the line. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought of it down below in the comments. Definitely go check out the mod itself. I'll leave a link to the Nexus mod page. On that page, Block has an install guide in both a video and text format, so you can just kind of read that or watch the video to understand how to get this working on your game. It works for Game Pass as well as the Steam version. And of course, go check out Block himself. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel. And I believe he also does have a Patreon as well. If you want to get access to his mods a little bit early, then you can also support that. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you enjoy more of his Bannerlord content, and I'll see you guys in the next one.